Take a deep breath and settle into your comfy chair. Welcome to the Healers Collective, the podcast that will alchemize your health and ignite an expansion within your soul. I'm Caroline Nixon, and with my over 25 years of experience in all things holistic, as well as being a psychic, a healer, and a medical intuitive, I will guide you deeper into your energetics, your body, and your soul, supporting you along your path to be the best healer, psychic, energy worker that you can be, knowing and trusting that your body is fully supporting you. Together, we will be navigating all things energy, vibration, frequency, mindset, soul, body, spiritual practices, and more as we move through this thing called life. So grab a cup of something hot and let's get to it. Hello, and welcome to the Healers Collective podcast. This is episode 22. This episode is going to be short and sweet, and I think this is something that we all know, but sometimes we forget. And sometimes we need to just give ourselves permission as well. What am I talking about? So the name of this podcast is You Get to Change Your Mind. Also, you get to change your beliefs. You get to expand your perspective. Here's the thing. You're a soul in a body having a human experience. You are here on this planet at this time to learn, to grow, to expand, to fulfill any impact or mission, if you will, that you decided before you came into the body that you're in. I am not the same person I was when I started on this spiritual, new age, woo-woo, healing, psychic, medical intuitive journey. When I was in my 20s, I thought I knew, but I look back now and I laugh, and I didn't know at all. And that's to be expected. That is totally to be expected. It is okay to change your mind. As I have deepened my psychic abilities, as I have cleared out my channels with healing, deep inner healing, the mindset work, the emotional work, the energetic, the spiritual, even the physical, as you've released toxins, your perspective changes. And I suspect, I'll come back. I suspect that this is how it will always be. When I'm in my 80s, I am sure I'm going to have a different perspective on life. The things that trigger me at, almost 55, probably I won't even remember or think about when I'm in my 60s and 70s. I think that's kind of just life. But I also feel that things I used to believe. I will give you an example. I remember very distinctly, I was like mid-20s. I was a massage therapist, and I was working in like a new age collective, bunch of different practitioners, and I did massage. And at that time, I was doing Reiki. I don't do Reiki anymore. It doesn't resonate for me. But at the time, that's what I was doing. Okay, so I was doing energy work, I was doing massage. And there were psychics in that space, and I learned so much from them, and they were lovely people. And I remember one time one of them was talking about, how did she call it? I think she was calling it like evil spirits or something like that. I can't remember. She wasn't ghosts. It was like, she might have even said entities, but I don't think that term entities was really on the scene yet as it is now. Anyway, she was talking about hauntings. She would go into like haunted places. And I remember talking to her about it, and And at that time, I really didn't feel like there were darker spirits. And I look back on that time and I don't, not to berate myself, but I laugh. I think, boy, has my opinion and belief and perspective changed, because I absolutely know there are darker entities that are trying to mess with people. And sometimes people that are in the New Age community, the spiritual folks, the channels that you see on all the social media, they think they are channeling with high vibrational beings, when in fact, because I can read energy, I know and I believe and I trust that they are actually channeling darker, mischievous energies. That's neither here nor there. That is why it is very important to be able to read energy, so that you're just not taking what some being says as gospel, okay? I did a podcast on that. I can't remember which episode. I will put it in the description for this to check out. But you should be listening to all my episodes, right? Anyway, my point is, it's okay as you learn and grow, as you expand, you're going to see things differently. You're going to. I have a deeper relationship with energy now that I didn't have. I would probably venture to say even 10 years ago, I was doing this work, but even 10 years ago, I was not fully able or ready or whatever to actually read energy, to really be able to see it clearly, in the body. I am much sharper at what I do now. That comes from experience. It comes from deepening my own healing. It comes from expanding and investing in myself and learning new ways of healing, but also my connection with my guides, my connection with myself, my soul, my higher self, source itself, expanding that way. So again, I just feel like it needs to be said, because sometimes we can think like, oh my God, I can't believe I used to think that. Or what, there are people I've seen online. A lot of channels came out in like 2020, like when COVID was going on. And they were like, I'm channeling with such and such. And I'm even seeing now, and I'm going to do a separate podcast on this, I think, about people channeling, quote unquote, as I'm rolling my eyes, with Chat GPT. And that they're getting so much guidance and all of that. And I have opinions about that. Now, take it or leave it. These are my opinions, but it's also my energy read and how I feel psychically about these things. But my point is, around COVID time, there were a lot of channels coming out, and I won't say that I was like sucked in, but there was a part of me that was fascinated by it. And like, and some of them immediately I was like, what are you channeling? No. And see, this was only 5 years ago. So even from then, I look back and think, wow, that's really interesting, because I'm not going to berate myself about it. Everything's a learning experience, and nothing's bad or wrong, right? Nothing's right or wrong. Nothing's bad. Nothing's good. It just is what it is. I've just noticed that as I've sharpened my own skills and really like trusting the information that I receive, which is what is most important, right? At the end of the day. Because a lot of this stuff that we're into, you can't necessarily prove, right? It's so like, it's so fluid, and who's to say, maybe when we're on the other side we can get together and have a coffee and be like, oh my god, remember when we said this? Ha ha ha. But right now it really is about trusting your own inner compass, your own guides, your own connection, which is so important. Everybody needs to be psychic. Everybody is psychic, but not everybody chooses to really hone in on their psychic abilities. Everybody's intuitive, but not everybody listens. And it's so important in this day and age of so much fake out there. It's like, I don't, you can get online and be like, I don't even know what to believe. So, as a side point, it's really important to really build that trusting connection with yourself so that you can have that discernment for yourself. But also knowing that, in a year, in 2 years, as you grow, as you experience new things, you can change your mind, you can change your beliefs. A lot of the work that I do with amazing women is working on belief systems. And I do it along with psychic guidance and along with the energy component and the mental and the emotional and the spiritual and the physical. I've talked about that in other podcasts. You really need all of these aspects in order to truly heal anything, including the body, which is what I work with. But beliefs, we hold on to beliefs from childhood that just absolutely can stop us in our tracks. So belief work is big, but it also, this is why I'm talking about this now, is that it's okay to change your mind. Just because you've always thought this or that doesn't mean you cannot change your mind, and you don't owe it to anybody to explain yourself. I changed my mind. I see things differently now. And that's all you got to say. So I said I was going to keep it short and sweet. I don't even know how long this is at this point. I give you permission. If you need that, I will absolutely give it to you all day long. But do yourself a favor and give yourself permission to let go of anything that's not serving you anymore, any belief you have about anything. Allow yourself to change that belief, because only you can do that anyway. I can do belief work with you, and I can energetically pull beliefs and put new beliefs in, but it is your job as a powerful creator to hold it, to embody it, and to be it. And I think I might do a podcast on that, because embodiment of new beliefs is where it's at. And it is simple, but not easy always to shift, because it requires a lot of effort at first to think differently and to catch yourself. That's what my guides have said is called being radically mindful of your thoughts. And it can be tiring at first, but I'm going to do another podcast on that. You want to know about that? Let's do a podcast on that. So that's all I have for you today. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments what belief you used to hold that you no longer hold. And you can tell me the new belief if you want. There's no shame. There's no right. There's no wrong. There's no good. There's no bad. And it can be about anything. I've really, over the years, have changed what I think about foods. A lot of times, and maybe it's still a thing, I don't even know, but because I don't really follow any of it anymore.